Parents, when did your kid become the family therapist? So my son Jaden is 10, right? Wears these little round glasses, carries a composition notebook everywhere, speaks like he's narrating a nature documentary. This kid came out the womb judging people. His first word wasn't mama, it was why, and he hasn't stopped asking since. The therapy session started during the pandemic. We're all stuck inside, tension rising, everybody getting on everybody's nerves. One night, me and my husband are having a discussion about whose turn it is to load the dishwasher. Not screaming, just that married couple passive-aggressive energy. Jaden walks in wearing his dinosaur pajamas, sits between us on the couch and goes, "We need to talk about your communication styles." My husband laughs. "Buddy, we're fine." Jaden adjusts his glasses. "Dad, deflection isn't helpful." "Mom, your eye rolling is a form of contempt. Studies show it's bad for marriages." We're sitting there getting counseled by someone who still watches Bluey. Next morning, he's made a chore chart, not a normal one. This thing has color-coded sections, a point system, and something called emotional labor distribution. He presents it at breakfast with a whole speech about household equality and mental load sharing. I'm like, where did you learn this? YouTube and Grandma's therapy podcasts. My mother's been leaving her phone on speaker again. But here's the thing, his system actually worked. No more dishwasher arguments, so we just let him continue. 2 weeks later, my sister visits. She's going through a breakup, crying on the couch. Jaden appears with a box of tissues and a glass of water, sits down across from her with his notebook. "Aunt Keisha, tell me about your attachment style." She actually answers him, starts talking about her childhood, her trust issues. This kid is taking notes, nodding, occasionally saying things like, "That must have been difficult," and "How did that make you feel?" An hour later, my sister's laughing, feeling better. She goes, "Your kid's better than my actual therapist." Jaden hands her a paper. "That'll be $50. I also accept Robux." The situation escalated when my parents came for dinner. They've been married 40 years but bicker constantly. Halfway through the meal, Jaden puts down his fork. "Grandma, Grandpa, we need to address the elephant in the room." My dad, "What elephant?" "Your codependency issues." My mother almost chokes on her potato salad. He continues, "Grandpa, you use humor to avoid emotional intimacy." "Grandma, you enable this by managing his emotions for him." They're speechless. This child just read them for filth over mac and cheese. Then he pulls out a worksheet, an actual worksheet titled Healthy Boundaries in Long-Term Relationships. He printed it from somewhere. "I want you both to fill this out and we'll discuss next Sunday." The wildest part? They did it. My parents, who haven't had a serious conversation since Reagan was president, did homework assigned by a 5th grader. But peak family therapist happened last month. I'm stressed about work, husband's stressed about money, house is tense. Jaden calls a family meeting. He set up the living room like an intervention. Chairs in a circle, water bottles for everyone, his notebook ready. "I've noticed we're in a negative cycle," he starts. "Mom, you're stress cleaning. Dad, you're doom scrolling. Neither of you are addressing the real issue." We're trying not to laugh, but also, he's not wrong. He makes us do this exercise where we say one thing we appreciate about each other. Corny as hell, but my husband tears up when I mention how hard he works. I get emotional when he says he loves how I make everything a celebration, even tiny stuff. Jaden nods approvingly. "Good. Now let's discuss coping strategies that don't involve avoiding each other." By the end, we've got a whole action plan. Budget meeting scheduled, date night planned, even agreed to phone-free dinner zones. My husband whispers, "Are we really being life coached by our son?" "Shh, he'll hear you and add it to your file." "I have a file?" "Oh yeah, found out Jaden's got files on everyone. Color-coded folders with our names, filled with observations, behavior patterns, suggested interventions. Mine says anxiety, responds well to validation, and T. Last week the school called, not because he's in trouble. His teacher wants to know if we'd be okay with him running a peer mediation program at recess. Apparently he's been solving playground disputes using conflict resolution techniques. I asked him, "Don't you want to just play at recess?" He pushes up his glasses. "Mother, play is how children process emotions, but some kids need help processing first. I'm providing a service." Yesterday he invoiced me. Literally handed me an invoice for therapeutic services rendered. Listed every session, every breakthrough, with a total at the bottom. I'm like, "Jaden, I'm not paying you for unsolicited therapy." He nods thoughtfully. "Fair. We can work out a payment plan, or you could just deal with your control issues." I signed up for actual therapy the next day. When I told Jaden, he smiled and said, "Good. I was getting overwhelmed with your case anyway." This child, y'all. This child. Character count, 4,678. Reintentar Claude puede cometer errores. Verifique las respuestas. Investigación. Opus 4.1.